again, everyone. Ta-da! I've come to the clinic today to film this little video, and it really has brought it home how much I miss this place that I've been working in for the last just under 11 years, and how much I miss the work that takes place in here with you guys. So yes, these little videos are for you, in a way reaching out to support you through this kind of interesting time. But also I've realized they are a way for me to connect with my work and what I love doing, and in a very, very small way kind of fill that void that not coming to work has left me with. So thank you for tuning in. This is one more of the series of active isolated stretches that I'm sharing with you. I love this method. I'll do another video in which I explain a little bit more about why I like it so much. So today we're going to stretch actively our hip flexors, which when we're sitting down are held in this shortened position for hours and hours and hours on end, even more now than before. So we're going to learn how to lengthen them. Hop onto your mat or just fold the blankets. You want to protect your knees from the hard surface. I'm going to start by stretching the right hip flexor. So I'm going to position myself into a lunge position. What you want to look out for is that you're going to be lunging forward. So at the end of your lunge, you kind of want your knee to be roughly over your ankle. You don't want to start your lunge from here and then run out of place or space for your stretch and end up with funny things like lifting your heel. Step forward, nice and wide. My stance is hip width apart, and that matters because that's where we can actually play around to isolate the stretch to a slightly more lateral or slightly more medial aspect of those hip flexor muscles. All right, so two things to bear in mind here. It's an active movement. We're going to do repetitions, and at the end of each repetitions we might just go a millimeter or two further. It's incremental. Very important, in order to get the most out of your stretch, you want that pelvis to tilt. Now, I'm going to do what I don't want us to do, which is arching the low back. I want us to tuck the tailbone under, really tighten those back muscles here. Really tighten your glutes. Kind of go towards that unnatural movement of flattening your lumbar spine. And with this setup in mind, you're going to think of your hip bones. Your hip bones are going to be like beams of light shining right in front of you. And as you go through the movement, you want that light to shine forward, not down. All right? So, here I am. Back tucked under, abdominal muscles slightly engaged, hip bones level and pointing straight ahead of me. And I'm going to stay vertical and move forward for 1, 2. We're going to do about 6 to 8. Every time you come back here, reset your position. Check your lumbar curve. 3. Oh, that's already a little bit more of a lengthening. Hold on to something on the side if you're doing this by your desk, which I would recommend. Have your hands there for balance. 4. Don't hold this stretch position for more than 2 seconds. Breathing out at the point of stretch, breathing in and neutral. The breath is so important when we stretch. It helps the body relax. It calms the nervous system down. Okay, we're going to swap sides. I'm going to do this at a slight angle. Maybe that will give you a different view. All right? Again, remember, tuck the tailbone under. Gentle contraction through the abdominal. Control your glutes. Lunge forward, keeping your pelvis level. Oh, I might need to widen my stance here. My first 2 or 3 movements, as you can tell, they're not very big. I'm kind of testing the water, feeling for that little stretch in my left top of the quads, really around the hip crease. I want to tune into that, and I want to check that there's just a little lengthening at the end of my range without pain, just a tiny bit of irritation in a nice way that suggests that the muscle is allowing me, or the nervous system is allowing the muscle to lengthen past the stage that it had as a set normal. I love those before. Okay, so this is your kind of neutral position. If you remember, we started with hip width apart and took the stretch forward. It wouldn't be an isolated stretch if we didn't find a way of slightly moving the angle of that stretch to get slightly different fibers of the muscle, the psoas, iliopsoas, maybe even sartorius, maybe even ITB for those anatomy geeks amongst you. So what we can do to isolate the stretch or make it, play around with it, find a position that gives you a little bit more of a, oh yeah, kind of feeling. Instead of having a stand hip width apart, I'm going to narrow it by bringing my standing leg or my supporting leg closer towards that imaginary midline. And I'm going to do the same. Here it's a bit more tricky to keep the pelvis level, so watch out for that. Balance is a little trickier, so hold on to something. The rest is the same. Flatten that lumbar curve, engage your glutes. Engaging your glutes will reciprocally relax the hip flexors, which are the muscles you're looking to stretch, so they should be as relaxed as possible. This stands to reason, right? Forward you go. Tuck under. Forward for 1 and 2 and come back. I'm going to go back sideways. Tuck under. I'm definitely feeling a slight shift of where that stretch is taking me. And it's your body. You know it best. Explore it. Give it what it needs. Don't just stretch by default. Stretch with conscious kind of intention. Find the place that needs it. Give it a gentle stretch. Swap sides. Stance is quite narrow. Pelvis is tucked under. Hip bones are even, pointing straight ahead of me. Oh yeah, actually I feel this a lot more on the left side. How wide or narrow that stance is for you to discover and to play around with. Be curious, be slow, and be progressive with these. They are by far the most precise active stretch you can do for your hip flexors in a kind of kneeling position. The problem is always about how you're going to stabilize your pelvis, which is why we really have to pay attention to setting this whole area, making it pretty strong and controlled before we lunge forward. And that is it for today's stretches. We all need to stretch our hip flexors a lot more than we do. Sitting, running, cycling, all of these activities that are available to us at the moment all contribute to a chronic shortening of these anterior hip muscles. So give them some love, give them some length, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, as always.